Welcome back, guys. Coming up, we have Alex's WG101 on Smite. It's our third favourite MOBA, and it's no secret that we like MOBAs here.
We're definitely a MOBA crowd.
Woo.
Yeah. You were saying that Smite actually kind of interests you?
Yeah, well, I watched the video, and this would be the only MOBA that really interests me. The third person kind of thing seems more interesting than the actual whole bird's eye view look.
Yeah. All right, let's check it out now.
Hey guys, I'm Alex, and welcome to this week's WG101. Today I'll be talking to you about the new and upcoming MOBA Smite, and how it differs from other MOBAs. To the new players to MOBAs, or people who don't know about MOBAs, MOBA stands for Multiplayer Online Battle Arena, mainly in a 5v5 where you control one character through a map defeating the enemy main structure via paths, generally called lanes. Smite was in an open beta for roughly around 2 years, and was fully released March 25th of 2014. Smite is a MOBA in which you play as a mythological god from various pantheons like Norse, Hindu, Greek, Egyptian, and so on. Smite is made by Hardline studios who you may know from such games as Tribes Ascent and Global Agenda. The reason why I say it's the new and upcoming MOBA is because it implements a new way of battling enemies and a completely different view comparing from League of Legends and Dota 2. Smite implemented a third-person view into the MOBA, completely changing the way you play, and gets rid of standing around and clicking everywhere, and occasionally, when possible, locking onto the enemy and instantly hitting them, no matter if they're behind minions or not. This makes everything a skill shot and makes your positioning very different, using minions to body block, and tanks having to be a lot more efficient in their positioning in front of the attack damage carry, otherwise known as the ADC. Also, with a third-person view, it adds a lot more aesthetic qualities into the game, like in-air ultimates. Using Apollo as an example, he jumps onto his carriage, rising up into the air, flying over everything. The catch is that you'll not be able to attack him from the ground, and you'll not be able to see him unless you specifically look up and try and find him flying over the map. I personally love Smite, and is one of my favourite games. I love the fact that the characters you play are gods from real mythological pantheons. I feel that since it adds real gods into the game, it makes you want to play the god you like more than just a new god or champion that is added. Personally speaking, my favourite god is Thor, so when I found out that Thor was implemented into the game in the early open beta, I was more excited to play him than another person may have been. Smite has also included into the game God Masteries, which is a ranking for how much you play the god with. On an average full round of Smite, you can get between 8 worshippers for a loss and 13 worshippers for a win. For one mastery to be added to your stats, you need 50 worshippers. The max for one god to get him to a legendary status is 1000 worshippers. In a nutshell, it's to brag about how good you are with the god. Hardline Studios has changed a minor detail in their MOBA, which changes the way you play a lot. They made towers deal quite a bit less damage, so you can tower dive earlier in the game to get kills, making the jungle ganks a lot more efficient but still dangerous, compared to League of Legends, where you should never tower dive without your tank, or until late game where you can take a lot of hits. The reason why I prefer Smite over League of Legends and Dota 2 is because with all these new characteristics implemented into the game, it has a lot more personal feel to it. Like jungle ganks, with a top-down view of League, you can see him come if he is in lane, while in Smite you have to specifically look for him. He would come from behind and you would not be able to see him until he actually hits you, and junglers can hit hard. So your positioning, awareness, and game ability must be a little bit better compared to League, in my opinion. Though League players will argue, generally speaking it's the same thing, but all MOBAs are the same in their own way, but also different with the minor details, which is specifically what I'm looking at. There are a lot of questionable things that Hi-Rez has done that League of Legends or Dota players have brought up, like why have they revealed the enemy stats, the gold they have, and the amount of towers they have taken. I think it's good that they've done that, because you can see how far behind you are and how you need to catch up to win. If you're behind in gold, then farm and get it up. Of course you'll have people who will want to surrender, but all MOBAs have people like that. No matter how far behind, a dead game is a dead game. Another question is the final objective to the game, and having to defeat it. Smite has a Titan you need to defeat, that will attack back and is right next to the well or spawn where players can heal up very quickly and join back in. This makes finishing the game more of a challenge, but not in a way that makes it impossible. And with the players spawning and healing up right next to the Titan, this makes players also need to think about their positioning and if they should really be attacking the Titan. The last questionable quality of Smite I will answer is why do you need to finish the third tier of the item to get the bonus benefits, otherwise known as the passive? In my opinion, if you could get the passive on the first tier of the item, then what's the point in buying the rest of the items for the small buffs it provides? For example, an item called Jotun's Wrath. The passive is cooldown reduction. Why finish the item when you can just buy the cheap first tier and still get the passive? Thanks for watching my WG101. I think that if you want to get into a MOBA or looking for a new game to play, get into Smite. It's free to play and not a pay to win game either. Plus we need more Australian players, so get onto it Hi-Rez and start making Australian servers. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week on WG101.
Next week on Worldwide Gaming.